Hi, good morning everyone. In today's video, we will be talking about virtual network. So what is a VNet? So VNet is basically a network within the network. So we basically call it as your virtual network. So in any cloud environment, users must create their own network within the cloud network. Network is very important for the resources to communicate with each other. Network or the VNet, and if anybody knows, AWS is equivalent to VPC in AWS. Virtual network is a zonal or regional service. So you create your resources in a region. Subnets within virtual network are zonal, and any resources created in the subnets are zonal to the region. So moving ahead, to create your virtual network, I'll click on type VNet over here and we will get virtual networks, and I'm going to go and create it. So I'll show you how to create a virtual network. I'll click on create and I'm going to click on create. So every resource must have a subscription, must be tied to a resource group, because resource group is again a regional product, but you can put your resources anywhere in the world in the resource group. So I'll use the same resource group, which is in the New Zealand region I have created, and I'll give the name as VNet demo, and I'll put it in New Zealand region. For security, I'll just leave everything to default. We will not create firewall and bastion. We'll talk about in some other video later. IP addresses, I can use the pool of IP addresses from here. These IP addresses are private IP addresses. If you want to know more about these IP addresses, you can always refer to RFC 1918 documentation, and you can know the types of IP addresses which are private in nature. So I'll not use 10. Yeah, okay, let's use 10.2.0.0.0, and I don't need these many IP addresses. I'll just create 24, so I'll have 256 IP addresses, and these are the subnets. So either you create here or you can create later. So I'll create it later, but yes, you can do it here also. I'll just trash it and I'll go to tags. I'll create a new tag, location, and the region is New Zealand, and I'm going to review and create. So it's very quick. It usually takes few seconds to create the VNet, or maximum up to a minute. So our virtual network should be available soon, and if I go back to my home and I click on virtual network, shortly I'll be seeing the demo VNet coming over here. It's still in the deployment stage, so it usually takes few seconds and it is available. And if I click here, my VNet should be here. All these are components of VNet for protecting your DDoS. You can use it, creating firewall, peering connection, defender, and endpoint service. So we'll come to all these topics later at somewhere in the labs in further videos. We'll go to settings and we are going to create our subnets. Our address space is this. We get 256 addresses from here. So we'll go to subnets and I'm going to create two subnets. Subnet is default and the name is public subnet, and I just need 64 IP addresses from there, so it'll automatically pick it up, and I'll leave everything to default and I'll click on add. So I'll have a public subnet available over here. Then I'm also going to create another subnet, which is private subnet, and the private subnet is just to keep your private resources, but that's just for naming convention. You can use any name you want. I'll again keep 26 and I'll just click on it. Now here you see that we get 64 addresses, but here we receive only 59 addresses, because from every subnet 5 addresses will be taken away by Microsoft or any cloud service provider, and they will be kept with them. So basically those 5 IP addresses from every subnet has got their own use. It's like your home broadband or your router, which has got 2 IP addresses reserved. So similarly 5 are reserved. One of them is the broadcast address, one of them is the address that holds all the IP addresses of the resources. One communicates and with the resources, and two are kept by Azure for future use. So you can read more about this in the documentation over here, but yes, in the Azure documentation, but with every cloud service provider you get them. So for here, the public IP address is from 0 to 63. So that's how you get 64 IP addresses, and 5 are taken away, 59 are available. And this is from 64 to 127, not 128. So remember, if you want to read it, you can see the range of IP addresses over here. It's here. So just to give you an overview that this is how the subnets are created. Then another important thing that you need to know is network security group. I'll tell you in this video only. And network security group is protecting your resources at subnet level rather than at resource level. So these are already created network security groups. So you can associate them to that subnet, or we can create new one. I'll click create, and I'm going to create a new subnet in the same resource group, and I'll call it as VNet demo NSG NSG public. This is for public subnet, and this is the region. So, and I'll give a location, and the location value is New Zealand, and I'll click on review and create it. And the network security group is available. So click create, and it is done. The objective is that we associate the security rules in the network security group, and then we associate them to the subnets, so that the subnets, the resources that are created in the subnet, only follow the security rules that are given in the network security group. So NSG is at subnet level, which is deployed into the resources. So I'll go to home, and I'll again go to network security group, and I'm going to create one more, which is for public, private. So I'll click here the same resource group, NSG, private, and I'll call it as VNet demo so that we can identify it. And I'll give the same tag, location is New Zealand, and click review and create. And it's all done. All we need to do is that we need to associate the subnet with it, and whatever security rules we create in these subnets will automatically be applied to all the resources that are created in the subnet. So we'll also do that in this video. So it's created. We'll go to home, we'll go to network security group, and this is our subnet, network security group. So by default, nothing is allowed. So we will say for public subnet, I want to go and add some rules. So here is settings, inbound security rules. So I'll add them. I will say anybody coming on SSH from anywhere is allowed, and it is created. So it is giving a warning because I'm allowing from anywhere on internet, which is not good, but yes, this is just for demonstration purpose. I'll also use for RDP if I'm using a Windows machine, similarly, and create it. And similarly, I'm going to create for the HTTP, and it is done. So any resource now created with this NSG will have these ports enabled. So I'll go back here to subnets, and I'm going to associate a subnet to it. So I'll select the network, and I'll just select the demo RG, and I'm going to select public subnet, and I'll say OK, and it is created. And it is associated, and I'll go back to network security group, I'll refresh it. The private one will also appear here. I'll click on that, and I'm going to associate the subnet with it, and the subnet is going to be private subnet. Same VNet and the private subnet. Yes, and okay, and done. So it's all done now. Resources are created and deployed, and now if I go back to my home, go to my VNet, select the VNet, and I select the subnets, you will automatically see that the security groups will appear over here, which will be NSG public and NSG private. So whenever we'll create the resource, whatever rules are applied in that security group will automatically be applied to this subnet. So thanks for watching, and questions, please welcome.